Welcome to Wisdom Wednesday number 70. Your attachment attracts abuse to you. Question. I watch my children with their devices, even myself now with my devices. It saddens me to see how they play with their friends instead of speaking face to face like we have done for millennia. Now, this device is the interface between the false reality and us. It seems they are enjoying this digital reality more and more and getting very attached to it, and perhaps will not know how to function without it. I feel sad for this loss of true contact with each other. Yes, I have a few things to say about that. The first thing that's happening is it starts with the fact that we have severed ourselves from our source, which is life, which is pure sentience. We forget what's really running the show. So now we're going to get lost in anything that can distract us even further. So the device is just an extension of our already many distractions. So the five senses are getting more tricked now. So without the device, our five senses were already very tricked in life. So I would get tricked by my eyes, and then I would believe something that my eyes see, but it's not the truth. I'd get tricked by something I heard, and that's not the truth. So the five senses are under delusion anyway. They don't give you the full information. They only give you a tiny bit, and then you have to make up the rest. And now, on top of that, we have a device that is a million times more attractive and sensory active than our five senses. So our five senses are overstimulated with this device. And not only in the five senses, the ego is also. The ego loves this device because it can do so much. It's just it has so many tricks to it. It has so much capacity to it that our ego is just wrapped in and around this thing called the device. The device is this interface between us and reality. Now we're going to walk around we won't be able to see the world reality anymore because this thing is going to be right in the middle of it. So we're going to have to go through this interface. This is where we're going. And so now that's a step farther away from our source. Alone, without the device, we had to work with our ego. The ego was a separation from our source. Now we got the device, so we're going further and further and further away from the source. And now it's going to take us longer and longer and longer to get back to our source because we're so way out there, totally mesmerized and absorbed by the fascination, the lights, the thrills, the pleasure of the device. We want this experience. It's like the ego says, don't take away the device from me because this is my lifeline. So, but I want to say, and we really got to know this, that our attachment, maybe it's not the device, but our attachment to the device will bring our demise. Why? Because it's like, I'm going to give you a kind of vulgar analogy. Okay, ready? Okay. It's like you're in the middle of an orgasm and it's so pleasurable. You've lost sight of everything else going on, and that's the fullest experience you have. Meanwhile, there's a thief collecting all of your valuables in your house. And because you're right in the middle of this extraordinary pleasure, you don't really care about what else is going on in that moment of pleasure. Only when you come out of the pleasure do you wake up and you realize that there's been a thief and has taken everything from you. And then you're going to feel like you've been ripped off. And then you'll kick yourself for having, getting lost in the pleasure, in the attachment of the pleasure. So this is where it will bring your demise. So you being attached will allow the powers to have control and to manipulate you, because you're obsessed, engrossed in your pleasures and satisfactions of the ego. So the point here is that it's not that technology is wrong. That's not what we're talking about at all. We're talking about attachment. So we need to find our source first, which means connect. Connect by meditating. When you drop your device, close your eyes, connect. And you want to find your fulfillment here first. So you connect and find your fulfillment. Once you find your fulfillment, then you start to move and go throughout your day. But not prior to that, because the mesmeration of the device will distract you and you'll never find your fulfillment. You'll keep going outward for your fulfillment, which is not where it is. So why is it that we are afraid of experiencing our life as it is? Why do we need to keep going towards something more thrilling? We used to think that we needed to have a priest between ourself and God, like we had to go through the priest. We didn't know, or we didn't think, that we could have a direct connection with God. But we're afraid of having experiences of the raw experience of life. We're afraid of experiencing our emotions. If we feel those emotions, the immediate thing we want to do is we want the device to distract us. But we have to do the opposite. We have to actually sit with the emotion as it arises. And when it arises, allow it to be there, totally embrace it, and totally love whatever is arising. And in that merging, in that total absorption of connecting with yourself, you're fulfilled. And that's what we need to do. We need to go to our cushion instead of go to our device. We need to practice detachment as opposed to attachment. We need to be able to watch as opposed to react. Because when you start practicing meditating and getting connected first, it's already, the day is going to be full of, you're going to be tempted from one bombardment after another. And you're going to be tempted and tempted and tempted. And now we've got the device on top of it that's going to tempt us even more. And it's harder. It's harder. It's an incredible addiction. So all I can stress now is don't forget to meditate. And almost like fervishly, meditate even stronger than you used to meditate, because you need it more, because the temptation of the device is getting stronger and stronger and will keep you further and further away. So what can I say? Meditate, 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 morning and night. Stay connected, get fulfilled from within, and this way you will avoid being attached and you will avoid abuse coming to you. And that's it for Wisdom Wednesday number 70, and I'll see you in next Wisdom Wednesday. Bye.